Rich city folk live in fancy apartments, but their air is so polluted they can't even see the stars. We'd have to be out of our minds to trade places with any of them.
In 2005, gossip columnist Jeanette Walls, who had worked for a couple of decades for New York Magazine, wrote a very unusual book most people weren't expecting from her. It was her own story, the story of her childhood, very different than the life she was leaving, telling the sordid stories of celebrities in Manhattan. This was quite different, and now The Glass Castle has been brought to a big screen version. I was in vacation in Hawaii last week when it opened, and they only had one press screening while I was away, unfortunately, at least what I was invited to. So I wasn't able to see it or review it, but I did see it over the weekend, and I was so impressed, I felt I had to review this movie.
You should go to real school.
A real school, huh?
This is as real as it gets, kids. You learn from living.
It's going to be a word-of-mouth movie. I'm only surprised that Lionsgate has decided to open it now in the middle of August, when it's kind of the dregs here as we wait for the fall prestige pictures to start. And if anything, this is that kind of movie. It's the kind of movie I would expect to see around November or something, particularly with the cast that has been assembled here, including Oscar winner Brie Larson, who here reunites with the director of Short Term 12, a movie that she made, a wonderful indie movie directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, and he is directing this movie on a much bigger scale than he had for Short Term 12, but no less impressively. It also stars Woody Harrelson in one of the best performances he has ever given. He plays Jeanette's father, a raging drunk, shouting against the world and all the injustice, racism, everything else, as he stumbles from job to no job and using his family in vocal ways sometimes, a victim of the bottle to be sure, and of his dreams. He has big dreams that he never seems to fulfill. Harrelson is just terrific in this role as it ventures from flashbacks during Jeanette Walls' childhood and then to 1989, where she is a successful gossip columnist, now engaged to be married to David, a successful financial advisor played by Max Greenfield. Now, David is from an upscale family, and this is the polar opposite of what she seems to be hiding. She seems to be running from her past. The movie flits back and forth between that past and her present and what she's going to do about it. There's a moral at the center of this movie, which is to be yourself, be proud of yourself and where you came from. And it's something that really I found very touching. In fact, this movie brought me to tears by the end of it.
You shouldn't be ashamed of us just because we choose a different lifestyle than you.
Being homeless in New York City does not count as a lifestyle choice.
Well, if we heard from you more, you'd know that we found a lovely place on the Lower East Side.
Lori says you're squatting in an abandoned building. That does not sound safe, Mom.
When did you lose your sense of adventure?
Naomi Watts plays her mother, Rosemary, and she is every bit the equal to Woody Harrelson in this role. It really is astounding. And in '89, when Jeanette is a very successful gossip columnist, once she was going to a very ritzy affair, celebrity-laden party, and she stopped, wouldn't get out of the cab when she saw her mother going through trash cans right nearby. It's that kind of incredible story that is all true, and man, I was not aware of it at all, and I was very aware of Jeanette Walls' work as a columnist, but never knew this background. And that book that she wrote came from the heart and was very successful because of that. I hope this movie will be too, with its exceptional acting, very well directed here, and I think that audiences will find something to like right here in the dog days of August. The Glass Castle, which refers to the house that they live in West Virginia. It's a place where hillbillies reside, basically. A rundown house that Rex has these big dreams of turning, and all the glass he announced that he was going to put in, and it was going to be a beautiful house. That never comes to be. It's part of the tragedy of this man, but given a great performance by Woody Harrelson in a really fine movie that I highly recommend. For The Glass Castle, I say go.